Da che si mangiò Gibu Chung Dan Jing Dan Chimbo Sadi, we son jet, Gibu Chimbo Sadi, Gansa, the Ganesh Lagrilana, Simjan Tamje, Neti together, Simja Tamju Dunga Jaya Dunda, Jamini Jukom, Nigom Balatine, and the Sim Gasori. Gomnedine Simja Tamji, Gigi, and the Koya you. Leda nyomo batia bangje mewas baya ke dondala ne semje tamje ya sanje sala guigi di chudo semje tamje sanyu ko ba tobar ji yin sin dine semje kan jachu sem gyule yukan gansa dela samlo dine daje an jachu sem gyule ge du kan gansa dela gibu chenbo se din la gre se kisin gibu chenbo ko she di mo son ya di an du sonwa.
Good evening. Last week we continued to look at the beings of three capacities, or the spiritual aspirants of initial, intermediate, and greatest capacity. And last week we looked in particular at the being of greatest or supreme capacity, and it was mentioned that such a being, having reflected on suffering with great intensity, and has then taken their personal understanding of suffering and related it to others, and generated the minds of love and compassion. And having generated love and compassion for all sentient beings, they then take it further and they commit to striving to lead to all beings to a state of enlightenment. And in order to achieve that, they commit to guiding sentient beings to eliminate the causes of suffering, the afflicted minds and contaminated karma, as well as to accumulate the causes for happiness. And in order to be able to lead beings skillfully in the accumulation of the causes for happiness and the elimination of the causes of suffering, the practitioner commits to becoming a Buddha for the sake of others. And the being who generates bodhicitta in their continuum, such a being is a being of greatest capacity.
Tumo Lam Yirimba Mashi, then a Gibu Tinda and Tumo Lam Yirimba. Then a DJ Gibu Chimbigi, Lam Rim Yamachita, then the race and those generation and Tibo, Dingo Resere.
The Lam Rim tradition, or the stages of the path that have been compiled in the Lam Rim presentation, these are all practices of the Mahayana Dharma, and that is because the full translation of the Lam Rim would be the graduated stages of the path to enlightenment. So because of that goal, enlightenment, these are all the practices there are presented in a correct sequence that lead to enlightenment. So the practitioner has as their goal from the outset enlightenment for the sake of others. And with this as their motivation, they engage in the practices that are common or shared with a being of initial capacity, a spiritual aspirant of initial capacity. So they're engaging in these practices that are shared, but they are doing so with the motivation of the Mahayana. And thereafter they progress and they engage in the practices that are shared or in common with a being of intermediate capacity. But they are doing so with the motivation of the Mahayana, by engaging in the practices that are shared with the being of intermediate capacity. And thereafter, when those are developed well, they engage in the practices that are unique to a being of supreme capacity.
And Gibu Chung Lam Yirimba, Gasori, Gibu Chung the Tumo Lam Yirimba, she, then Dingi, she, Deni kiwo chimbe lam rimba chine she ko bi gyumchen gare lamna da dene she ko bi gyumchen ma sungore dene ma.
Tonight then we'll continue in our section, we continue to look at why the Lam Rim texts are presented first with the practices that are common or shared with the spiritual aspirant of initial capacity, thereafter the practices that are shared with a spiritual aspirant of intermediate capacity. So that's where we'll commence tonight.
That's it. 제신도 주비기 권이 장주초도 심계발에 현매배 장주초도 심계고라스.
We're starting then in the middle of page 17. I'll just check where again I read up to and up to the 5. Why is so much emphasis placed upon the practices of high capacity? Because there is no door to the Mahayana other than bodhicitta. You must therefore develop it.
다 대달 지역구비 김전에 세대 당보 기부 침무기 람미림바 가서 투모 람미림바 마이 롭종제 데네 디셀에 기부 딩다 투모 람미림바를 로장 데네 기부 침배 람미림바 로장고 김산 가레 슬랍데 다 가르소르스네 가레 람네 김전이 세대 김전에 디시고다 태신의 주비기 권에 장주주도 셈게 바레스 지도 태바 침비기 람 냠는 지네 태바 침보 가서 차다 마차세야디 네, 야, 베네가서 강변나라 주에 나로 주 요래 요 말에서 산삼도 맞는 고디로와 고나로 야 주에나 강변나로 주 바레스 고나로 주면나 강변치로 하죠. 그래서 니나시 강사대 태바 침벌이 말에서야디 태진이 야 차야 되라 전주초도 셈게 바레스 지상 셈게 전주초도 셈게나 네, 태바침배 가사 채고래서 셈게메나 태바침배 가사 채고 말 지상 셈게래 셴메베스도 지상 고 태바침배 차 맞았어야지 태바침배 주에 고디 나 장주초도 셈게돼 장주 셈들이래서 지상 장주 셈네 셴요 말에서 지상 태바침배 주에 고디라 지상 장주 셈디 태바침배 주에 고래 지상 가사 디길라 냠면게 장주 셈게나 가사디 태바침배 가사래 아니 태바침배 셴냠는 지고래서 가사 디길라 장주 셈게메나 가사데 태바침배 아니 말해야지 모두 개발해야 되다 장주 셈는 거 송고 그래야지.
So here we find the answer to the question of why does one, if one has the aspiration to become a bodhisattva and a Buddha for the sake of others, does the Lam Rim insist that one has to first train in the practices that are shared with the being of initial capacity, and thereafter train in the practices that are shared with a spiritual aspirant of intermediate capacity? And that is because these are the preliminaries to generate bodhicitta. And bodhicitta is the boundary for a boundary which must be crossed for a practitioner to be called a Mahayanist. So, for example, if you ask, is someone inside or outside? It depends if they've crossed the threshold of the doorway. If they have, then they're inside. If they have not, then they're still outside. And likewise, there's one boundary alone that has to be crossed for someone to be considered a Mahayanist, and that is the generation of bodhicitta.
장주 심 규례 개발라 당보 장주 심기 판윤 통고래 지난 장주 심기 판윤 통해서는 다 장주 심기 판윤 되니도 되니사디 장주 심기 마tum도 탑문 톱구도 선배기 디야 톱에게 donar야 빼마시게 직 배수 침보지 쪼아 침보게 돼 톱들 donyer 숙침보게 고고래 지난 되니게 장주 심 마기니라 장주 심기 연된 통 장주 심기 연된 통에 다 디마tum도 탑민도 디 톱구도 선배기 donyer 숙침보지 고고래.
So in this paragraph, it states explicitly that the doorway or the entranceway through which one has to pass to be considered a Mahayanist is a generation of bodhicitta. Then the text continues. To do this, you begin by contemplating its benefits and thereby generate a longing to attain it. So as it says here, in order to generate bodhicitta, one has to reflect repeatedly on the benefits of bodhicitta. And the reason to reflect repeatedly is to give rise to a strength of mind that is intent on achieving bodhicitta, having seen these amazing benefits that follow from having generated this mind. One gives rise to a longing, and a sense of great joy that is committed to striving to achieve enlightenment, generate bodhicitta, and to become a Buddha for the sake of others. So this is then what's emphasized here in the next paragraph.
안디네 자 전주신 마제니라 전주신이 판여 통고그래서 전주신이 판여들다 양도 직바도 매번 휴세한 매와 열다 벤 준주 침본날에 제기 리우당 뭐 되냐 전주신이 판여고 배 먹어서야 송거로 디네 자당 안도 전주신이 판여셔야 되래 당아제래 전주신 지고음 지양안주 규례 개와 이나 당아주게 세대래 이내데 디버 침보 마사바 개와만 디버 침보 사요나 디버디야 안데 바지그람사 다야다 안데 계셔 개와 제반에 개와 빠도 매고 디버 침보 차야다 안데 데니스 용고레스
Here it's been emphasized the need to reflect on the advantages, the benefits of generating bodhicitta. And nowhere are these benefits of bodhicitta presented more clearly and more eloquently than in the first chapter of Shantideva's Way of Life of Bodhisattvas. But we don't have time to look at that chapter now, but in brief, if one generates bodhicitta, then in this life, one will not accumulate strong negativities at all. And moreover, vast stores of previously accumulated negativities will be purified through the generation of bodhicitta. Moreover, powered by bodhicitta, all one's meritorious acts in this life have unimaginable strength. So for these and many other reasons, we need to reflect on the great qualities of bodhicitta.
자주심 제와이나 소소랑랑 삼다베네 베네 셈레 시디요야다 안지게 시디요야 안기디네 셈 남자 첨보다 시나다 강한메바 셈레 시디요야 안지 셈레 시디요 비긴 일류디요야 용고레 니멘비게다 자주심 제바네 안데 제규바이나 데니기 자와딜이야 신비 펜비 신리에 펜비 자와마도 신리에 뇌비 자와스는 기직 말와 지상 신리에 펜바 지위 자와 지연도 신 동아이냠 날도연다 신 강아 유연래 펜바 자치무 주투고로와 디네자 신리에 안디기 요야다 근데 지게 자치무 주고래 디기 자치무 주투야다 디네자 다스라니기 지게 라신니가래 디기 요야다 다지 개와 차라는 차라봐도 소수기 개와요 개와 사도야 돼 산지 고방 토요일에 다 아니야 줘야 돼 대체적으로
And furthermore, the great qualities of generating bodhicitta include that one's mind becomes very calm, very peaceful. Strong afflictions do not ripen in one's mind because of the power of bodhicitta, and therefore one's mind is calm, peaceful, and spacious. Moreover, any physical ailments don't overwhelm one because of the presence of bodhicitta. Moreover, all one's activities, whether physical or verbal, are focused on benefiting others, and thereby one doesn't harm others. So in this way, from these and other illustrations, one sees that there are innumerable benefits for oneself as well as others for generating bodhicitta. And in brief, one accumulates vast stores of merit in this life and in future lives under the influence of bodhicitta. Throughout this life and our subsequent lives, we accumulate incredible stores of virtue, and therefore Buddhahood rapidly nears.
and Sima Sangbo, Janju Sim Yamle Chicken Jim, Nap and Eating on the Gawarimchota, the Nezurimchota, the Nigi Pay to Gablina, the Nigi Shubi Ringlia, and the Tawangazo, Michazalia, Jamdi, the Simlia, Galan Lachida, and the Chigi, and Dana Lachichi, and the Sozunia, Chasan, and Gijugi Chiagia, and Doyuti and the Ligorwa. Chazantiso, and me Lama Koranzuki, Janju Sim Yamlen Chibiki, the Nubigi, Maranzulia, and the Ungurwa. Chazan, Sosoran, the Yuva, Mazeshan, Chasala, the Yuva, and Sugurwa.
If we think of the phenomenal bodhisattvas in this world that we've met, or beings with strongly developed bodhicitta in their continuum, such as His Holiness or Lama Zopa and others, just recalling them brings joy to our mind. Merely hearing their name brings joy to our mind, let alone if we are in their presence or in particular receiving teachings from them. Such joy arises in our minds. And this is all due to the power, the strength of their bodhicitta.
Some Danganchina, Denigi Midi, Gera Chimbuchin, Denigi Midi Kabla, Nanzo Tower Telemima Oshena, Michazan Samnalia, Chick Namdaru, Chick Mikey Warshima, the Kiwama, the Digi Karashi, the Karikua, Taching to Kanga Jiggers and Big Shenarish, the Namdar, the Dela Lachina, Galalachi and Goma, Diggers and Sembenalia, and Pembi, Nubi Samba, Shukchembo Gomde, Digi Kinji, Chagor.
And we probably also have experience of people who are quite the opposites. So when we're in the presence of someone who has a strongly negative attitude, whose personality is very negative and destructive, who has strong anger, who's got a strong mind such as harmful intent, we know that being in their presence destroys any peace of mind. We become quite anxious and uptight. Or even hearing that they are approaching or that we may meet them destroys any peace of mind. And this, likewise, is due to a similar reason, that due to the great strength of their negativity, this has a harmful impact on others.
Negaptang, Tarduki, Payu Nile, Nina Dudu was Nile. Nile, Negap Montu, Dejang, Simgela Dine, Dela to Drup Sedua.
Tatuk Yang, Sigpimbe?
And Tardu like Medashela.
And the text presents the benefits in a very condensed form, the benefits of generating bodhicitta. There are two kinds, temporary and ultimate, of which temporarily, bodhicitta generates the joyful fruit of a high rebirth.
Delia Pain, Janjusim, Pain, and Janjusim Gombi, Tibus, or the Janzo, Sim Sambo Yubana, Decombalatine, Shala Digi, Uncore, Rala Digi, Shanchas Digi, Drumdela, Carazation, Sim Chideliada, Shanyu Dungas, Kangasa Ligora, Tizadinenza, Sim Janjusim, Pain, or Tizan Chadman, or dinner, two Dushabana, but the Nerapki, and Neraptan, Tardugi, Nina Dugres or.
So when this term here, benefits, this here has a synonymous meaning to where we have fruit or result, because the result of bodhicitta is the benefits of bodhicitta. And so these benefits of bodhicitta can be condensed into those which are temporary and those which are ultimate. Ultimate. But in brief, we could say that it brings great peace of mind to ourselves, and also it brings peace of mind to all those that we encounter, both directly as well as indirectly. Also, we don't bring any harm to others, but we only benefit others. We ease the burden of pain and suffering of others, even on a temporary basis. So this is one way to abbreviate the temporary benefits of bodhicitta.
Tarbata Tamji Kimbo Toma to be Negap de la Simchi Nagasura, Tizan Nile, Negap, Sidi Negapki, and Janjusim Gombe, Digi, Gasore, Payan de Carchagres, and Negap, one to 8 days, one dose, one Hada Mi, there was a DTS, one Hada Mi, Digi, Yoadi, Janjusim, Janjusim Yamni Jebaina, the Hada Migi, Digi to Yoadi, Delato.
And again, reading from the text, temporarily, bodhicitta generates the joyous fruit of a high rebirth. And that result of a good rebirth is something that is achieved with great ease, without any effort at all.
And the
Tibetan of this line, it alludes to that there are other benefits beyond these that are experienced in this life. So these would refer to what has already been mentioned, such as the happiness that is experienced in this life already, in the very life that one generates bodhicitta, and the beneficial impact that the generation of bodhicitta in one's own continuum will have on all those one encounters. When immediately, through the generation of bodhicitta in one's own continuum, all those one encounters, one not only doesn't harm them, but benefits them, and at the very least, eases their burden of suffering. So there are a whole host of temporary benefits that come to the generation, that follow the generation of bodhicitta.
That the nigger had a me go on top chair, and had a me lay the digging your hair down, and me digging your hair there, and the judge some gombalet in the young race. The name that Delado to Lela Ocean, judge some gombaina, Lamsa, the Lela Ocean, and you want to race your water.
And this result of a high rebirth as a human or god, this is something that is achieved with great ease. And that's also emphasized here in this first line.
Surim Sungura like that, Chanjusem Yamlen Cheva in that, Tadami taking your to put a cigarette, Chizan Hadam Yoko talk to Gore, Chizadine, Tadam Yoko Watobala, Surim Sungua, Midua, Chanjusem Gopna to us and Begia, then some no cigarette.
It's possible that when you recall what the main cause is, or the explicit cause for a good rebirth as a human or god, that of ethics, then one may think reading this, if one generates bodhicitta, then there's no need for ethics, because it says with bodhicitta, then a good rebirth as a human and God is easily achieved. So then there's probably no need to practice ethics or to cultivate the mind of ethics.
Semjan Tamji Dondala Sanju Goma Tower to Gore. Chisan Semjan Tamji Dondo Sanju Goma Toba Dubansa, Semji Duhase Dondala, Semji Digi Dondala Sanju Goma Toba Chicken Sungoro, Dinyam Jigora. Dinyam Jadu, Semjin Duhase Donda Chevaza, Semji Dunga Gudi Sunguru, Surashing Sungore. Chisagarson, Semjin Duhase Dondala Sanju Goma, Semjin Digi Dondala, and Sanji Goma Toba Chigis, Sem Yamlen Dijevanza, Lunga Yusmukone Shala, Gangate de Dongor, Sem the Sungur, Rashi Sungurwa, Sungore, Sunsem de Sun Sutim de Legore. Then Semjin Digi Dunga say Dondala Sanjo Goma Toba Chigis, the Dinyamne Chidu Kabla, ane simji dunga seya da simji digi duya la lunga yusum lonju tone pemba kari druptumina pemba druporo 지난 진변 냠는 제용 거래 지난 데니 자 심지어 탐지기 돈다 상지고방 토바 지기시세도 지난 심지어 탐지기 돈다 상지고방 토바 지기시도 심지기 돈다래 현래 펜바 주위에 돈다래 최 냠는자래 강에 가져나 지긴세비 뽑아기는 세배 냠는 지고래 지난 현리야 현기 뇌바로나 현기 소술이야 지금 예주 되게 제바 이내 될이야 지금 심지어 돈다 상지고방 토바 지난 심지어 닝제세도 될이야 세고 고고 거 지난 장주심 냠는 제도도 진바 출연 쇠바 전주 냠는 차상디 고랑슈기 리용고래 제대 되는자 장주심 냠는 제바나 라다미고바 토그레시도 귤 장주심 냠는 제도 가서래 원조고바 토기 수림디에 송고래 송고디 차고래 아니 되네 원조고바 톱선에 덴델라 론주에 풍선 소보 중요하기 진배 냠는 지고데자 라다미고 디기 두고로 제가 전주 냠는 지고래 제가 되는 인자 아니 장주심 냠는 제바이나 아니 라다미고바 토비기 아니 제보 디기 요약이 요 그래서 놈좀새로 되다 세상에 술은 마송 받아 수배 냠는 맞아 받아 진배 냠는 맞아 받아 그냥 장주심 찍고 공제 되네지요 마다 장주심 냠는 지도 라신이 내고 와대 됐어서
How it works that through the generation of bodhicitta, good rebirths are easily attained is because it's through having generated bodhicitta that one naturally is drawn to accumulating the causes that lead to a good rebirth as a human or God. So if you recall the 4 primary causes that are required for a good rebirth as a human or God, when a bodhisattva has generated bodhicitta, then with these powerful minds of love and compassion, as well as the altruistic attitude of universal responsibility, this bodhisattva will do anything and everything they can to benefit others, and will be very careful not to bring any harm or difficulty or added burden to suffering beings. So because of the great care that bodhicitta leads to, then it's very easy for the bodhisattva to generate the mind of restraint, an ethical outlook. And with this mind that is restrained, then the bodhisattva will not engage in physical actions which bring harm to others or speak to others in a way that brings harm. So therefore, the practice of ethics is easily accomplished. And moreover, with the mind of bodhicitta, the bodhisattva will be intent on benefiting others in any way they can, and therefore the practice of generosity, the mind that wants to give, the mind that wants to help, this will naturally be generated, and the bodhisattva will utilize any and every opportunity to bring benefit to others. And thereby they will naturally practice generosity with their material resources, with their skills and their talents and so forth. And with this powerful mind of bodhicitta, whenever the bodhisattva encounters adverse circumstances, no matter the cause, their mind will stay undisturbed, will stay calm and spacious, allowing their virtuous qualities of bodhicitta and wisdom to arise, and thereby respond with wisdom and bodhicitta. So in this way, patience is practiced with great ease. Patience, the mind that remains undisturbed in the face of adversity. And if that adversity comes from other sentient beings, the bodhisattva will naturally give rise to compassion for the suffering being, and thereby the mind will remain patient. Or if patience comes, if the bodhisattva, the cause for potential mental disturbance is either in the practicing of the Dharma or from some inner turmoil, the bodhisattva's bodhicitta and wisdom will be so powerful that the mind will stay undisturbed, and therefore, no matter what the source of potential mental turmoil is, the mind will stay patient. And then for the 4th cause, that of joyous perseverance, this too naturally arises with a strong and overpowering wish to be of benefit to others, to accumulate merit in order to guide beings to enlightenment. Then that is a mind of joyous perseverance. So therefore, all the virtue that is accumulated is of great strength. So in this way, through the generation of bodhicitta, naturally the causes that lead to good rebirths are accumulated.
나 저거 심제 아주 심제야 아주 고해디 가선 디기리래 지산 디기 때에 내갑기 디기세다 탈두기 디기세디 니차고로 지산 탈두기 디기세디 누가 차상 비디나 누가서 자오기는 녀야 매디베 내기딘 대화네 대화마도 누가기네 녀야 매디인데다 탈두기 디기세고 될이야
탈두기 디기야 계속요
누가서 자오기는 녀야 매디기딘나 대화네 대화 장장마도 누가기네 녀야 매디인데라 탈두기 대화로 와다 지산 누가 녀야게 매체 대화 짠짠 용 탈두착으로 와. 제가 데니게 녀야게 대화들라 탈베기 고바지나 담에 산지 고바니 체고 탈바 토보다 산지 고바마토베나 탈바 토바 있나 다준비지고 토사와나 데네 대화마도 누가서 싸우기는 녀야 말다 되는서 다준비지고 토사위 진짜 데네 누가서 싸우기는 녀야 말 기디는 대화 짠야래 산지 고바 토사나 기디는 대화 짠야래 누가서 싸우기는 용 말 매발 대자 될라 탈두기 디기스 들어와다 당한저 하다 미고바 톱나 아니 가브레라 대화요 가브레 두하요 이내다 지기 하다 미고바 톱네 대화요 양직 지 사미 될야 망체 대화장장 요바 이내야 아니 지야시네 안 제마야 지나 손자와다 되네 제와네야 두하요 책으로 지사 먼저 하다 미고바 톱제 탈바다 탐지 캠비고 아마도 하다 미고 방좀 톱제 되바네 디디기들 내가 디디기레스마도 아니 내가 디기스마도 남자디 제래 아냐 동아 요야 돼서 그러다 동아 균에 모양에 탈치요 말했어 디 내가 블라 베날 하다 미고 방 톱데 네디 내가 때라 한지 디기 돼서 요하는 거래 야 되네 신이야 지게 나서다 나녀와다 이자도 둔돌 기선다 야 동아 먹고 용어 차그랬어 내가 비디기레서 그러다서 내가 비디기 제가 자주 쌤 냠는 제바이나 되네게 내가 고발하다 미고 방 토야다 하다 미고 방 톱네 땡텔야 하다 미 디기 요야기 디기야 자주 쌤 냠는 제발을 때네 두두고래서 내가 비디기 두고래서 디레다
Sentient beings, we all have an innermost yearning for happiness. And there are two types of happiness. There's the happiness we're familiar with, temporary happiness, and there's the happiness that we truly long for, and that is ultimate happiness. The ultimate happiness is happiness that is never interrupted by even a moment of slight discomfort. And there are only two states that are achieved where the happiness that is experienced is of this type. And the first is if one achieves liberation from samsara, the state of a foe destroyer. Then one has completely abandoned afflictions together with their seeds, and therefore there's no source for suffering. And therefore, with no arisal of suffering, one only experiences happiness. And this is the first of the two types of ultimate happiness. The second is when one abandons even the stains of the afflictions and one arises as a Buddha. Then too, one's happiness is ultimate happiness, in that a Buddha can never experience even the slightest of discomforts. But the happiness that we have experience of and gods have experience of is temporary happiness, and it's temporary because it is so very impermanent. It is whatever happiness is experienced is continuously and almost immediately interrupted by further suffering. And so therefore, in our lives as humans or gods, not only is the happiness that one experiences temporary, but one's situation in such a rebirth is very unstable. And when death comes, there is no guarantee that one will achieve a similar rebirth. There is the very real possibility that one may fall into the realms of great suffering. And the reason for this is because humans and gods have not gone beyond suffering. They have not attained liberation. They have not attained lasting, ultimate happiness. So a bodhisattva is not yet a foe destroyer. A bodhisattva is a human or god. They will very, very easily achieve the causes to experience these rebirths, further rebirths as a human or god, and therefore the happiness of humans and gods.
타르두게 디기 주야들라 다 전주 셈라틴의 죽투 고래지를 benna 타르두 탐제 캠비요 고방양 셈게라 띠네 중에 장주주도 셈게 고라서 시티 타르두.
Then the next line gives the presentation of the second type of happiness, or here we could include it in the second benefit, or the second kind of benefit of bodhicitta. Ultimately, it gives rise to the liberated, omniscient wisdom of Buddhahood.
타르두 띵기 대화 상지요 고방 토야라 타르두 탐제 캠비 고방양 쓰되데 되네기 사다 미 고방 토야 되다 전주심 곰 냠는 제나디기 두투와 마세 타르두 상지요 고방 토야 되래 전주심 냠는 제바 되네 안에 상지요 고방 토투 그래 지산 되네기 상지요 고방 토발라 전주심 냠는 제발라 된 도고래지 타르두 탐지 캠비고 고바야 셈께라 띠네 중에 시도 지사 전주 심 냠는 제발라 때네 타르도 상요 고바 디 토고래 중에 되네 인자 전주체도 전주초도 셈기에 고라 되네 인자 전주 심 냐바 전주 심 공고래 해야지.
The ultimate happiness, this is something that is that achieved by bodhisattvas. In fact, this is the goal of bodhisattvas. They are focused on rapid spiritual progression in order to be of ever greater benefit to others. So as a byproduct of their training, they achieve temporary happiness, but their goal of ultimate happiness, this is quickly achieved because of the power of their bodhicitta. So therefore, as our text says, hence it is indispensable, bodhicitta is indispensable.
네 전주심 냠len 제발라 되네 안에 가서래 타르바잠 토그리 세디 다지 숨도 하들이야 제스네 타르두게 대화들라 타르비 고와지나 탐지기미 고반이 여러와 지나 전주심 냠len 제발라 되네 사다미 고반 톱네 디기 죽투그리 세지 다 전주심 냠len 제발라 되네 산제 고반 톱투그리 송도와 나도 전주심 냠len 제발라 되네 타르바 세디 토그리 숨도 하드나.
Those who've generated bodhicitta, they achieve both of these types of happiness. As a byproduct, the temporary happiness of ongoing good rebirths, and they can be, as they develop, they will rapidly approach the attainment of liberation from suffering, in fact, the great liberation, that of enlightenment, and thereby achieve also ultimate happiness.
자, 전주심 냠len 제바나 타르바 토고 말 타르바 좀 토고 말 가서 타르바 토바디 타르바 돈능에 타르바 짬 토바 뒤엔디에 삼로 가르당 거스네 심지어 탐지기 돈다라 이 제투사 말에 제사 디장 마랑 안에 녀모바 차사 빵제 코유 동화를 저고도 삼로 데니스다제 냠는 제도 타르바 토고로 봐 전주심 냠는 제도 심지어 탐지기 돈다 산지고 본도 동화세에 심지어 탐지 디기를 꼬기 제사 심지어 탐지기 돈다 삼도 랑돈라 랑 깔레 가제 체나체 동화 가져년 셈진의 디기도베다 셈진이 동화세 산지고 보 톱나다 당하 깔레 가제 겸나 자긴세데 랑돈디 파 가서 랑지진 삼바 랑돈이 삼바 파 빵고래 가고로 봐 제사 디네자 전주심 냠레 제나 탈바점 토야요 말에 그 톰이야 탈두기 대와 산지고 봐 토그를 마도 탈바점 토야요 말에.
Those who have generated bodhicitta, so bodhisattvas, they do not have as a goal to achieve liberation from samsara. Because to have a goal to achieve liberation from samsara, one needs to be very focused on eliminating one's own affliction so that one can go beyond suffering oneself and thereby achieve one's own peace. But this is not what a bodhisattva is focused on. A bodhisattva is not focused on their own contentment, on their own happiness. They focus on alleviating the suffering of others. Their focus is so intent on alleviating the suffering of others that they are not concerned about any suffering that they may encounter and have to put up with or endure. That doesn't bother them in the least. They are solely focused on helping others, and if that means they have to encounter hardships and difficulties, they will do so with joy. But as they spiritually progress, they will progress through the various stages of development, but their focus, their intent, is not to achieve liberation.
어다 전주심 냠린 제반데 타와세 토야면 되는데 산지고 원 토야래 타rin 부래 제자 되는데 파라딜리아 산지고 마도 게디나 동아 소소라랑 강아시운 용고나 되는데 디사마레 선비게 되네 삼노 용시기로와 제자 되는데 전주심 냠린 제바 있나 안에 지게 전주 벤 소람다 소 중요히 되니까 야 소수기 수불야 제 강아래 용시기 돼 되네야 전주 심바 파파세 통남바 세제 토서와 있나 되네 다좀부터 토발에 야가래고 가서는 동화세에 자와기네 녀요 맞는마 대화네 대화마도 동화매 말에 매화마세 샬야 펜바 야치 뭐 쇼루투고래 전주심 벤이 자만기 다준비 되고토나 소수기 디기다 덴바리마도 셴리아 펜바자 쳔부 두투고 말에 디네자 전주sem바 파부고 고방 톱선에 디네 상조 고방 마토바나 뱀 마세게 쳔부 셴리아 펜바자 쳔부 두야다 라니네 대화니 마도 동화세 나요 말에.
So in hearing this, it's possible one may think, but for bodhisattvas not achieving liberation, then enlightenment for bodhisattva must be so far away. The way to understand this is the bodhisattva's focus, their intent, is on the welfare of others, not themselves. But their own welfare is a byproduct of their intent, of their training. So the reality is the bodhisattva on the beginning of the 5 paths, on the beginner paths, the trainee paths, those of accumulation and preparation, bodhisattvas will experience, for example, some physical problems. But these will not overwhelm them or deter them in any way. Moreover, when they gain a direct realization of emptiness, and they become an Arya bodhisattva, so from the path of seeing, they will experience no further suffering. They will experience only happiness. And then, if one compares an Arya Bodhisattva to a Theravada Arhat, there is a huge difference between them. And die Gyatso Sempa, Pakpa Gyatso Sempa, Dang Su Durkirepe, die So comparing an Arya Bodhisattva, so a Bodhisattva from the path of seeing onwards, to a foe destroyer, a Theravada foe destroyer, so being a Theravada practitioner who has achieved liberation, so he's even more developed than a Theravada Arya, and is a foe destroyer, an Arhat. An Arhat has only achieved their own happiness, their own bliss, their own freedom from suffering. That is all. It's a great achievement, one doesn't want to deprecate it, but that is their achievement. They have achieved their happiness. A bodhisattva, though, from an earlier stage, from becoming an Arya being, so from the path of seeing, they experience only happiness, no suffering at all, only great bliss. But moreover, they can be of incredible benefit to others. The benefit that they can bring to others is inconceivable from what those on the Theravada Arya paths can achieve. And then Arya Bodhisattvas are able to bring benefit to others whilst themselves only experiencing happiness, not even the slightest of discomfort.
근데 전주sem바 통람바당 되니기 파바디기 뇨몬바요 말데 지이네 아니 거기 뉴베체리 뇨몬바 뉴베체리레스 마방에 뉴베체리레스 디화랬다베네 년제디 저좀 뇨몬바와레데 전주sem바 파바디 뇨몬바요 말데 건주기 뇨몬바야디 뇨몬을 왕도 유사바래 건주기 뇨몬디 맨나시세 두고래 현래 펜바주 두고 뇨몬디 베제단 현래 펜바제 좀 두고래 제가 디제인자 전주심비 규라 녀모 방용마도 컨주의 강조의 녀모의 예수 충분히 규시 배제 다 현리야 폐바자 좀 두고 제가 맨나시 저기 지다 제위기 누그룹시네 될 배셔 단이 만게네 수불을 패야다 지 배셔 침부 주세요. 디나시 맨야 아까 둘이 맨 잡체 그 맨나 쇠바나 지바레시 전주선배기 유일 녀모 지다 전주선바데 녀모 바베티 빵지소 지고 말 건조기 이제 딥 건조기 배셔 단이 현에 판별주베기 배셔 단 투고 제가 나랑 저바는 나 저기 녀모 완성 말이야. 아 녀모 완성 말이야. 나 저기 녀모 완도 규투고 말이야. 진짜 전주선바기 녀모한테 전주선바 완도 규투고 배셔 단 투고 그래. 진짜 현에 팬배자와 규투고. 진짜 녀모게 전주선바를 누구 말이야.
네, 제고마송 전세대 선배 낭노라 박박. And furthermore, an arat we know is a being that has completely abandoned the afflicted minds together with their seeds. Hence, they are liberated from the afflicted minds, liberated from suffering. And Arya Bodhisattva is not yet liberated from the afflicted minds. So this can cause some doubt, thinking an Arya Bodhisattva that has not completely abandoned the afflictions together with their seeds, how is it that they don't suffer? Because they still have afflictions. And the reason that they don't suffer at all is because of the incredible strength of mind that comes with bodhicitta, that is in union with the wisdom realizing emptiness, ultimate bodhicitta. The afflictions cannot harm them. In fact, not only can the afflictions not harm them, they add to the bodhisattva's strength in that the bodhisattva with ease is able to take those, transform those afflictions on the path and thereby not suffer, but gain ever greater mental strength. Just like in the material world, medical researchers can take snake venom and make an antidote. So from poison, one can make medicine. And likewise, from the poisons that are the afflictions, an Arya Bodhisattva is not at all harmed by this, but in fact, it strengthens their mind, strengthens their ability to be of benefit to others. So this is the case for Arya Bodhisattvas. Us, of course not. The afflictions tend still to rule us. Bodhisattvas, though, they are the master of their destiny. They are the master of their own minds.
Then the niggy gets and the come to Yarget to the Jing, the Chamber said Chegora. Chisan Solam, Janjusemba, Janjusem gets Hane, Solam Chung, Solam Jing, the little the Jing said the top of the top of the and Sangi Kumwe, G to the Sangi, Sangi and the Chu also Shushe, I'm just go to war, Sangi Chim with Jenny, and Dimaze and Juba Mongo to go, Juba Mongo to. Juba Mambo Tene, the nigger Jubigi, Bene, Lugi, Gala, Gada, the next Juicy Mambo, then and Kitsu Juba Relia, me Mambolia, Shan Cormola, Cheshiada, Shan Pember together, the nigger catching to two words, Solemn Jing said, told the dinging in Nubi Tene, Saji, Gungwele, and the ones to get Wundanga, Gunda, what did it? Chico soon go to your Mars and Nuba Mara. Just I didn't go to Nuba, the nigger. Sanju Kungwele, and Gaso Kundra Zelle, Simoso Ko Tuche, Chu Mosu Shuyada, and Jiga Sanjelia Jiwa Shu, did the Sosum Hamo and then the Jiwa Shuda, Marsh Sunyada, and the Jig Tar Mbun Sanju Chusumwene, digging Azuke, and Amchuki go to Sheko Tuyada, the Negi Nuba, Lungorova, the Negi Juba Mong, and the core. Come near Mongolic page and Shanlia Pampa Gyatso to Yacho. The Janju Semba, the Janju Sim Yamling Jibi, Nuba, and Denigi, that's Solam Chung Jing said to Dinelio. That Delia, Jig Chamber said that, and then Jolam said in Toy, the Nuba Church said Roma, Gil Dumara, Delia Gyatso to Roma.
When a practitioner generates actual uncontrived bodhicitta in their continuum, they enter the bodhisattva path of accumulation, and they're counted amongst the bodhisattvas. And when they enter the path of accumulation, the first of the 5 paths, this has 3 divisions. The first being the small level of the path of accumulation. And as they train and develop their various qualities, accumulating ever greater merit and good qualities, they progress then from the small level of the path of accumulation to the middle level and eventually to the great level, the highest part of the path of accumulation. When they achieve the middle level of the path of accumulation, so bearing in mind this path of accumulation is the first of the 5 paths, so they're still new bodhisattvas. Already, because of the great strength of mind and virtue that they've accumulated, when they see any Buddha statue such as this one here, that Buddha statue, they will be able to receive teachings directly from the Buddha statue. This is not something, of course, that we can do because we haven't developed those qualities in our minds. Moreover, a bodhisattva then can already start to send emanations, send about 100 emanations, and those 100 emanations can teach the Dharma to others, guide others in how to overcome their afflictions, and be of great benefit to others. And as the bodhisattva continues to develop, bearing in mind again, this is just at the middle level of the very first path, as they continue to develop their good qualities, their qualities grow ever greater, and their ability to be of outstanding benefit to others grows ever stronger.
ane nyewa ki kewe ne ma ji ke lamsa ya li ri se pe na zo poli salma jikshu ben lamsa mani thu che ya phar yong ro o di na shin janju sem ba de ke si ta nga zo nyema ji ki nyewa ke wa le chimbo top chimbo shu sa ba ne inji min ji de ke nge ba ke wa ya di le sa yo ba ina ta nga che de le janju sem nyam len ji janju sem ma zo le ke ba ina tene ma Rather,
desperate situation that ordinary beings like ourselves and others find ourselves in is that on our continuum we have a vast store of strong negative deeds that, should they ripen at the time of death, will lead to rebirth in the lower realms, including in hell. And this is the state that ordinary beings find ourselves in. We're always in the danger of death and potential rebirth in hell. However, if we were to generate bodhicitta in this life, or for those beings who in this life are generating bodhicitta, then should those previously accumulated negative deeds ripen and result in rebirth even in hell, because of the power of their bodhicitta, they will immediately take rebirth from the hell. It would be like a ball dropping down, hitting the ground and bouncing up immediately. In the same way, a bodhisattva, should they end up taking rebirth in hell due to previously accumulated negativities, would immediately be reborn out of the hell.
janjusim yitigo panyo maribes that disam gurade kasa janjusim gomba ina tarbi goma to tu marlarwa jisna janjusim gom nyamne da tarbi din nyamne cheba ina sanjo goma ya tarnyama to taba tu marlarwa jisna madam da dan tarbi gi nyamne je ge lam yirimba da tarba tumne digi yoyadi janjusim gombe janjusim yi debu panyo marire da mare da panyo insa mare samgurwa da.
Furthermore, we should look at the consequence of the bodhisattva striving for the goal of enlightenment for the sake of others. Because it may sound like, but a bodhisattva is striving for enlightenment and that is their goal and all their virtue is dedicated to enlightenment for the sake of others, then because it's not their goal to achieve liberation from suffering, well, do they achieve liberation from suffering?
다들 소소 라랑게 전주심 냠린 제바이나 안에 야상지 고만 토야라 타냐냐 도마도 디긴제네 탈비 고만 토투 말해라로 저 탈비 톱네 탈반 전주 람 냠린 제네 탈비 고만 디기 두에 디기 차사 전주심지 제부 차되래 가르람나 상제 점된 디기 전주심 냠린 제 아니 최대 니 최대 냠린 제발레 때네 안에 가서래 탈비 고만 토로 그래서 진이기 달비고바 토바자 달바 토야기 디기 차사 전유심이 되고래서 그래서 전유심이 방해래서 나 저기면에 산유 줌nen디기 전유심 곰 디기 나즈려 최송 디최 냠레 제발에 되네 아니 달비고바 토디고 그래서 라마기 냠는 제발에 되네 될 최송 디 냠는 제발에 되네 개와인자 아니 달비고바 차사 전유심이 되고래 전유심이 방해래서 그래서 개와 차사 전유심이 방해 차고 그래 되네기 네 달비고바 지기에 전유심이 방해 차고 그래.
So the doubt may be, because Buddhahood is the goal, and we've heard that the achievement of bodhicitta brings the attainment of Buddhahood ever nearer, does this have an impact on the attainment of liberation from suffering? So as when bodhicitta is generated and Buddhahood does approach, the achievement of Buddhahood, the attainment of Buddhahood does near, but so too does the achievement of liberation. And this is because in order to be of greatest benefit to others, the bodhisattva trains in all the teachings of the Buddha, in the Thai realm of the variety of aspects of the Buddha Dharma, in order to be able to benefit beings from a position of experience based on knowledge. Secondly, everything the Buddha taught was taught from his motivation to lead beings to enlightenment. So whilst the teaching may explicitly lead to a differing goal, implicitly, through those practices, eventually enlightenment would be achieved. So the entire Buddha Dharma is focused on the eventual attainment of enlightenment. And then going along with this, bodhisattvas, whilst focused on achieving enlightenment, they are practicing or cultivating in their minds all the aspects of the Buddha Dharma so that they can guide beings skillfully based on their own experience and in accordance with the individual personalities of trainees.
Gewa Dalai so Dalai Simjan Tamji Dunga Yenawa Mazubi Niji Chimbo Undo Jogo Yes. China Denigi Janju Semdi Gula Gewa Layang so Dalai so the Janju Simanga to Gula Gewala Niela that Guda Gala Metuba Janjusum Geomara. China Deniza that Janjusum Gela Niela Karakum Gure Lamna and Simjan Tamji Dunga 동하게 나와도 마셔봐자 심지어 동하다 자고도 심비 니지 전부 공부하되 오늘 좋고래 진짜 니지 전부 마공발라 심지어 담지 상요고만 토발지긴 집에 전주심 기도 말해 진짜 되네 인자 전주심 되니기 판연 유행한 판연적인 뉴버침바 전주심이 깨와라 하는 아주게 심지어 동하다 자고도 말단 지금도 심지어 되네 니지 전부도 규례 깨와라 오늘 좋고래세.
So that in brief are some of the vast benefits that follow from the generation of bodhicitta in one's own continuum. And then this is something to reflect on, to give rise to the longing to become a bodhisattva. And then furthermore to look at our text, the bottom of the 17th page. As a prerequisite for bodhicitta, you must generate great compassion that is unable to tolerate the sufferings of all sentient beings. So here now we come to an important presentation, because if one does give rise to the wish to become a bodhisattva for the welfare of all beings, it's important one knows how to train and train in the correct sequence and not start from the wrong point, but start training in the correct sequence.
대한 규제를 떼는 게 오래 뒤가를 고고래서는 델라서 니게와라 니엘야 랑둥하게 나와라 미디비로 슈자치 괴베서 지상 소소라라 다보 둥하에 삼다 둥하에 나타지 삼다진 근데 소소라라 다보 둥하데라 타고도 선비고 소소라야 둥하 타되게 삼나 둥하래 타되게 삼노 슈심보지 고고래서 지상 데니게 소소래야 슈심보지 여바이나 니 냠용이 토네 예 심제도 둥하를 자고 선비 니지 기도래 지상 소소래야 둥하게 자고 선비 둥하게 자되게 삼라라 가이메나 아니 진 아니 예 dunga da dago sembe samlo di le tu ma de che dine za dangbo so so ran la ni ji chimbo semje tamje dunga da dago du sembe ni ji ge ba la nye la so so ran dunga yin na su de ke sam ta dine dunga dine duwa sembe sam ta dine za da dine ki dunga de la de ma ton tam dunga de la tar gu du sembe an so so ran la dunga ri tar du ge lo shu ta wo chi ku gu ri shu chimbo chi ke ku gu re che de la dunga ge na wa rang dunga ge na wa la Midi bigi lo shuta chi kwebe sitrisron.
Kaba ba de sekpembe.
Dela rang dunga yin na wala midi bi lo shuta chi kwebe sitibado.
Dela dene.
Ah. Anchi dela rang dunga yin na bigi midi bi.
Dene ranyam la pakne ma gempe semchen tamche technology. Idea, anche di ngoma.
Ma Daniele de jidwa. Dela ya simjen tamje dunga yin na re ma jubi ni ji chi ke un zhuo gui la de wa. Di je le da dela rang dunga yin na wa le mi ju bi ge lo shu zha chi ge gui be se de.
Okay. Good be.
Shu zha chi gui be la yu wa. Da di ba do sha re to ma se de din ya je lo ya de.
Okay. This one.
Yes.
So as has just been presented here, that the cause for generating bodhicitta is the generation of great compassion. But if one were to embark immediately on the generation of great compassion, one would not be able to achieve that result. And that is because one hasn't done the preliminaries or accomplished the prerequisites. So these then are mentioned at the top of the 18th page. This great compassion for others depends upon an intense awareness of the undesirable experiences and sufferings of your own continuum. So this is a point that must be understood. In order to generate the sincere wish, in order to generate compassion, great compassion, which is the wish to lead all beings to a state freed of suffering, coming through the elimination on the causes of suffering, in order to actually generate that mind, one has to understand what suffering is. And one needs to understand it not just intellectually, but experientially. And the way to understand it experientially is first in relation to one's own experience. So that it's not a mere intellectual understanding, but an experiential understanding. And therefore, in dependence on reflecting on the sufferings that oneself experiences, one then has the basis to apply that to others and generate compassion. And there's a clear dependency in that the stronger the resultant compassion comes about in dependence on the strength of the cause, which is the reflection on one's own experiences of suffering.
Dunga tile tar kudu sambe samlo shu cha ge hu res di ma ge ba na simjen thamje dunga la da du ni che ki tu ma re chi ro che za dine za so so ra ra da bo simje khorwe ka sa dunga tha da le dunga gi na chu de le dunga gi nyong da sam da dunga le tar kudu sambe samlo shu ra ge hu res che za dine za dine ge samlo shu ra ge wa la ane dang bo ka de sam dang go re sa na da thomar Tomar chungi kapki rang la nga sunga dunga yi na su samne de la tar du logic lo sur chesa de ji da ki bu chungi kap su she gi chesa dang bo nga ju gi da de nga sunga dunga da nga zu mili ki de ba za la da mili ki de ba za mi na de nga sunga dunga sam da yi dun du dunga de jang zo tong de bo wa de yo su dunga yi sam da de ne nya be dunga an nga yi da yi dunga dun nga sunga dunga sam de dunga de de do da nga so dunga le tar go dunga de shi je ge wa chma nga so le ge ba ne de dunga nyong go do wa chi sa de ne nga so dunga le ma ta na tab min do san be ge sam lo de nya ko go le chi.
So again, this has to be emphasized, it has to be understood very clearly, that if one has the aspiration to generate genuine bodhicitta, one needs to generate first compassion. And to actually generate compassion, one has to first come to a clear understanding of suffering and its causes. And not intellectual, but experiential, which means in relation to oneself. So one has to engage in intense meditation on suffering. And then when one gives rise to an overwhelming wish to be liberated from suffering, to be freed of suffering oneself, one is then ready to take that realization and apply it to the situation that others find themselves in. So this is a definite sequence. And therefore, when we start out to reflect on our own suffering, the starting point of reflecting on suffering is, as the text goes on to say, first train in the practices of lower capacity by contemplating the miseries experienced in the lower realms. So the starting point to meditate on suffering is to meditate on the sufferings of the lower realms. And here we start with the suffering of animals, because we can directly observe this, and then and following this we reflect on the sufferings experienced by spirits and by the hell beings. We reflect on these sufferings knowing that we ourselves have created the causes that, if ripened at the time of death, we will take such a rebirth. We need to reflect on these sufferings as if we are to experience them.
Dingi kapso so da dine chiktela dingi kapso thurine yang dewa rangchenba mensu samne kowa tadala nyabar shu lo kies tisa dinigi nasunge dungala tarduge samna kine dunga de la tagudo samna shu kiede da nibade da nasunge dungala tada mil kiongure tisa tada mil kiwa ine hala mil dine chik ne na sa dunga anchi chi ma chuge dunga Juan Trube, Gangatia, Dene Dunga, Tisan Dal Halakeba, and Hanala, Dunga Botome by your Cesar, Lahon, Nale, Maja, Magi, Dunga, Lahon, Chidi, Popi, Denigi, Dunga, the Botome by your some Denigian, let on your mobile Wangi, Chikamsum Gakiwa, Naya, Kanto Kiwa, and Diabata, Sudan, Sume, let on your mobile Wangi, Kamsum Kanto Kiwa, and Dunga Yamato. Rashim but Dunga never saw you in Mindu, Jesa, that Dunga let Targo, Sempigi, Denigim, Kovi Dunga, some Dachi, Kora Dunga let Tarduka, some by Kiwa, Jangores, Di Jang, Di Jadi, Kibutina, tomorrow, Girimba, Lochanta, the Shikorwa.
And having effectively meditated on the sufferings of the lower realms, the sufferings that potentially await all of us, then one gives rise to the wish to be liberated from the possibility of falling into the lower realms. Then one is ready to move on to the next level of meditation, because it's clear from my own experience that merely not being born in the lower realms doesn't mean one experiences lasting, stable happiness. We know this isn't the case for humans, and we also therefore need to reflect on the situation of gods. And then here we come to the next part of the meditation, then taking up the intermediate practices by contemplating the transient nature of the joys of the happier migrations. So here one reflects that wherever one is born in cyclic existence, as long as one is trapped within the realms of samsara, not just where the suffering is of greatest intensity in the lower realms, but even in the so-called happy migrations of humans and gods, one continues to suffer. And this is because even the happiness that is experienced in the realms of humans and gods is deceptive. And it's in its nature, it is still suffering. That even in the happiest of states, of the desire realm gods, they still suffer. Many gods experience jealousy, others experience warfare. So here we need to engage in further meditation on suffering of humans and of gods, coming to the conclusion that wherever one is born, one is not freed of suffering as long as one remains bound in samsara. All one's experiences in samsara of the experience in samsara, there are none that are worthy of striving for as a goal in itself, as a lasting goal, because as long as one remains bound in samsara, one will suffer. And this is then presented in the next line. From this contemplation arises renunciation of everything in samsara.
Lam Rim Lobsang Dorje Ngasung Dungar ge samdan dele taw kudo sembe samlo shukchimbo ge de dene ya do chine te ngasong tan la da milki go la da mile dunga do sen dene samdan de chele ya dangbo ngasong dunga la tar de ge samba dunga samna so samda dele tar de samlo shukchimbo ge de ane ndi top ge ane ngazul karchagar sene dene 지단 감성주 거기 동안에 탈두가 삼바데 계야래 레라 용거래 제 삼다반데 레라 용거래 지산 감성주 거기 동안에 디 제래 안에 감성 거기 동안 간에 삼다나 거기 동안에샤 델레 탈고도 셈베 삼로 로장야디 레라 된 로장고 거래스 근데 데네 그 로장야도 소소라도 저 삼단 세수라나게 되네 소소라도 삼다면서 소수기 냠용 토네 소소래 되네 저다 아 데네기 나가 감성 가운데 되는 동아여 봐네 다 시점전 탐지 찍바로 와다 나지 찍바레스 지산 심전 간에 지네 차상 레다 녀모 왕기 코와를 깨와나 코와를 강도 깨봐이네야 아니 누가이라 하시마도 민두 디네 인사다 소소 찍부면 차상 레샤 지산 지난도 차상 누가를 타고 도 텔마탄데 디기 민두 삼제 디네 디지오라 데네 세도와 랑 냠라 빠네 마간 심전 탐지 누가이 나와라 뇌리 닝시 세대 닝시 개고래 해서 제가 닝시 개고래 제가 소소라랑 그 동안 되네 나선을 깨네 동안 되네 델레 타고도 안에 지기는 나선을 타다 밀리 개와이나야 되네 동안도 수다 수멜 개와나 되네 동안 타면 제가 차상 동안 타고 레다 녀모 코와 델레 타고도 선비 소소를 되네 삼로 슉 첨부 레어도 디 아니 라나시 현 심전 차상 되는 요아디 차상 찍바래 저 콘스 차상 심전 탑자 타고 지선 심전 탐조 거의 동아들 때 마타나 디민도 타고도 선배게 되는게 니제 얘기해 디제를 니제 디공고를 디공바이나 대시 되는 공부할 때네 소소게 삼로 땅한기 니수도 야고 하고 현자 심전 탐지를 봐 미바디 제바게 소소를 파제 제바게 심전 탐지를 미샤바이나 미삼다바이나 데니게 심제 동안에 자두게 삼 인식기에 레라요 우리 해서 그러나
In order to give rise to this wish for renunciation from everything in samsara, the starting point is to engage first in the practices shared with the being of initial capacity or the spiritual aspirant of initial capacity, and then progress to the practices that are shared with the spiritual aspirant of the being of intermediate capacity. Because if one goes through in this sequence, we're engaging in these meditations based on both our own experience and based on our own experience and what we observe. Then strong wish to be liberated from suffering, first from the lower realms, and later suffering from samsara in its entirety, will arise within us. And the whole time we're engaging in these meditations, we are engaging in meditations that are shared with the being of initial capacity, and the meditations shared with the being of intermediate capacity. And this implies that our goal that we have in mind is the goal of the being of greatest capacity, the goals of the Mahayana, the goals of enlightenment. But we are engaging as in the preliminaries, in the reflections first on the sufferings of the low realms and then the happier migrations. But we're doing so in order to achieve enlightenment for the sake of others, in order to generate bodhicitta, in order to generate great compassion. So therefore, we are engaging in the practices not of a being of initial or intermediate capacity, but the practices that are shared with them, because our goal is far greater. Nevertheless, we engage in these meditations reflecting on our own situation. And when we've given rise to a strong wish to renounce samsara, or to definitely emerge from the suffering states of samsara, that is when we are truly ready to take out our experience and our experience from these meditations and apply it to the experience of others. And here we come to reflect that these realizations that we've had in relation to our own experience in terms of what potentially awaits us in our future rebirths, as well as the suffering that we experience now as humans, this applies to all other ordinary beings. And in so many ways, we really do not differ, myself and others. We all only want to experience happiness. None of us wants to suffer, but we all are suffering uncontrollably due to the same reason. The contaminated karma that we have all created due to our own afflicted minds. Seeing the similarity between ourselves and others, we come to understand that really amongst the ways we differ are that I am only one and others are countless in number. So I as one cannot be more important than them. I cannot be the primary object of focus. It has to be this vast number, especially when reflecting on the kindness they've shown and so forth. So here we are then ready to turn our attention to others. And this then is expressed in the next paragraph. Finally, thinking that all mother beings face the same sufferings as you do, generate compassion.
ni dunga jawa de nge chigi di zangge simja tamju sanju ko ba thoba chigi yin sin janju simki go re jire jine janju simje para je ko be din janju simja sanju ko ba thoba sho jine janju simje go jinza deni gi je tang gi rimba de ma son deni yes deni yin zang an chu da jing dang tumo be lo jong qianbi gi lam du ti bi gi tap cho du gi wa yin be so jina deni 당보 기부 중요한 남일인 바 로자 deni 딩게 남일 로자 deni 기부 qianbi 남일인 바 로자 두 스티는 바 치타디 롭장 마선도 두 스티네 제타디 대 야쇼들이 해서 그래 deni 인자 아니 니 당보 디 기부 중요한 남일인 바송 deni 기부 딩게 남일인 바송 deni 기부 qianbi 남일인 바송 거베디 김센디리 해서 디시고다.
From compassion, we generate love for others too, as it says, and thereafter, bodhicitta. Here we've bodhicitta coming from having generated the altruistic attitude of universal responsibility. And here the text mentions it. Generate compassion, love, and bodhicitta, the aspiration for enlightenment as the best means to fulfill that love and compassion. So what this is alluding to is having generated love and compassion, one will naturally look for how can I fulfill these aspirations, and this is where we commit to becoming a Buddha for the sake of others, and that is the mind of bodhicitta. So, and then the text continues, thus leading aspirants to the highest capacity of practice by first training their minds in the two lower capacities is a supreme, perfect approach to the Dharma. So the point that is being made clearly here is that if one has the aspiration to become a bodhisattva, to give rise to the actual mind of bodhicitta within ourselves and have this this incredible beneficial impact on the lives of others, one has to train in this definite sequence. First, meditating on the practices shared with the being of smallest capacity, but with an intention to generate bodhicitta. And then progressing to generate in the practices shared with the being of intermediate capacity, but with the intention to generate bodhicitta. And then entering into the practices that are unique to the beings of supreme capacity. So this is the definite sequence to train in order to generate bodhicitta.
dire ci sono giochi di Giovenia ane ci chiamro samtaje da ya ni la yo de da ci tunga tamjile kyubi nyubade kyamne konjusum kyogres ci san kyam konjusum khen sembi kyamro che dele yishero debache kyamro che denigi kyamro che ne da do sinanga samtade da ki ko tanga le la ci khobi kasore Ngansung Dunga Sea, Digital, that Maternity, Chikanga Janja, Redwater Dunga, Tawudua, Simbe, Ngansung Dunga, Chibene, Semchen, Semchen, Dunga, some Dadine Kanga Kanekari, Semchelia, Kanga Karichibi, Nantu, Shishimji, Samta, Chesada, Son to the Tawudu, Sembeke, some much Tada, and Digelia, Tangason, the Tower, some Jim Duas, Tangason, Tanahada, Miko, Tova in there, Chesa, Kangas, Mother Dunga Pato, Meva, Chesadinza, Leda. Yomo Kowa, Kiawa, and Jet, Dunga Mato Mindo, just the Dunga, they let Martin at the top Mindo, some big, some much diary. Dita Sevilla, that is a rang said, Rang Dunga Targobanashi, that round around with Simson, Media Dundore, Simson, Leda Yomo, Kovi, that dinner, Mida, Hada, Dundo, Kanichi, Takanga Dination, Pondia, Chesa, Kangatilla Tagudu, Simson, Dunga, the Martin at Tabino, Simson, Dunga Tagudu, Sambi Dunga, Dana, some Dinico, Nijiro, some da, Nikomia, some da. She's a Dunga, the Taguan, some gentleman Dunga, Drajia, Sanji, Salquadi, Niji, some pig. She's a dinner and Simja Tamji, Sanji, Shangi, Dunga said, and Digi Dubelangi, Sanjo Goma to the Tabminu, which is a Sanjo Goma Toper show, some J, some died in Judge Sem Chekora. Sanjo Goma Toper show some. She's not that Sanjo Goma Toper show, D in Zangida, Diringi, Duliani, Lunga Yusum Yejo to be Sushim Soyata, Lunga Yusum, Sosuki Benjota, Lunga Yusum Kangi Tona Shanlia, Dunga said that Digi Dualia, Pamper Tubia, Chibi, Yamlen Cheki, Sambeta, and the Chigi in the Subi Yamnechik. Shanlia, Pamper Tubia, Shangi Digi Tubia, Rang Chig, Seming Zuki, Yamnecha, Kalekazikim, Kale Masamba, Kale Jagin, Sempu Sebastian, and Shangi never roach at the show in Delia, Pa Corner Land, Corner Launches, Pa never give me a Sempi Sebacomia. Then Dinigi Shanlia, Pembe Chow Tubia, give it Chow, Pemas Yapore, some Dinia, Gidina, the truth to a Chigin, Sempi, Yamneja. And then Yamne. Dine sometimes didn't answer Gawati Shalom, and Dimase, and answer Gawan, or some jet tamji tiki to you, taking our shows be pamper to you, show, and then so Hadam, Lama, Idam, and the Sangelia, and the Chige, Molam capture, Susuki, Yamlen, Yamlentiki, Yojo, Yamlen, Tarshimba, Joan Shores, Yamle Yawachi to our shores, said, Jin answer, yeah. Lama Idamlia and Chego Molam Jad, the Zon, then you need the Chacha, not the Lalan Daddy, down to Direda, the Jim share the Chazan Gimzero, the Chego Gimzero, she wrote down to some down Lalan Daddy that it is the Torturo Shubana.
So the class tonight has been presenting reasons behind why we engage in practice in a particular order. So this needs to be understood, these reasons need to be understood so that one doesn't make the mistake of practicing in a mistaken order and thereby not achieving the desired attainments. So that's now some theory. How to put it into practice? Well, it's my hope that all of you can engage in the following meditation every day. It's the same meditation that has been presented many times, and one starts by generating the mind of refuge. And one generates refuge through generating the certainty that the three jewels present the unmistaken technique by which all sentient beings can be led to enlightenment. So here, with confidence in the Dharma and the Buddha and the Sangha, one goes for refuge, goes for protection to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, knowing that through cultivating the Dharma within one's own continuum, one achieves a protection from suffering and the ability to guide others to achieve their own protection from suffering, the generation of the various minds of the Dharma in their continuum. So that's the first step of the meditation. The second then is to reflect on suffering. And the order of reflecting on suffering is first to reflect on the suffering of the lower realms and do so in relation to the potential that resides on our own continuum, the potential of these negative imprints that we've accumulated that may ripen at the time of death and lead to rebirth in the lower realms. That possibility of suffering in the lower realms, of a rebirth in the lower realms, is still real for us. And generate the strong wish to be liberated from that possibility, to be freed from that possibility. And thereafter, reflect on the sufferings of the happier migrations. So as not to be complacent thinking, oh well, if next life is like this life, that's good enough. But we need to see that there isn't, that merely to long for a rebirth such as we have now is insufficient. It's not utilizing this incredible human potential that we have, this unique human intelligence that can be transformed into minds such as bodhicitta. And thereby, through reflecting on the sufferings of the happier migrations, in the second step here, we generate the wish to be liberated from samsara in its entirety. And with that generated, the mind of definite emergence, we're ready to move to the third step. And that is to take the focus now from ourselves and to relate it to others, seeing that others are in the same position as us, desperate to be freed from suffering, but not even knowing that to the extent that they suffer and being blind to the causes of suffering. In this way, compassion for their situation arises. We generate the compassion, the wish for them to be freed from suffering and its causes ever stronger to the point where we see it as our personal responsibility to guide beings to generate their own individual enlightenment. And in this way we generate the mind of universal responsibility. And with this, we think, so how to actually become a skilled guide? And we see there is only a Buddha who knows each being's individual personality and thereby how best to influence them. And here we give rise to the mind of bodhicitta, the commitment to strive wholeheartedly for enlightenment for the sake of others. And this then is the third step of the meditation. The first was refuge, the second was suffering, the third was the generation of bodhicitta. Having generated bodhicitta, we come to the fourth, which is the practices of a bodhisattva, the perfections. And here, with this mind of bodhicitta generated, we commit to never harming others, to ensuring our mind stays restrained, or to express it differently, our mind stays ethical, the practice of ethics. And through this restrained mind, we will ensure we don't physically act in a way that brings harm to others, or speak in a way that brings harm to others. Moreover, we generate the wish to only be of benefit to others, the mind of generosity. And thirdly, we generate the mind of patience, the mind that stays subdued in the face of adversity. Where the adversity comes from others, compassion arises within us. If the adversity comes from our own inner turmoil, we transform this with our bodhicitta, our understanding of emptiness. And likewise, thirdly, with any problems and difficulties we encounter whilst practicing the Dharma, with strength of mind, our mind stays undisturbed. And in this way we practice patience. And then fourthly, generate the mind of joyous perseverance, delighting in what we've achieving and the benefit that comes to all others through this. And that naturally leads to us wanting to cultivate minds of virtue ever more, to meditate more, to not be to be overwhelmed by any obstacles. And then these are the 4 steps of meditation. And these 4 steps come about, or the attainments of the result of bodhicitta here comes about in dependence on training in those practices that are shared with the beings of initial and intermediate capacity, but whilst having a motivation of engaging in those practices so as to become a bodhisattva. And then we conclude those 4 steps with dedication, dedicating in brief with an understanding of emptiness to the welfare of all beings. And we make aspirations then for blessings to our lamas, the Buddhas, the bodhisattvas, and our yidams. So this is the way to practice, and I hope then you take the theory of what was presented tonight and you transform that into experience. And the way to do that is to engage in this meditation, in this sequence, this definite sequence, repeatedly over a sustained period. And if one does, then results will definitely follow.
Okay.
So thank you. I've gone on a little late, so my apologies, and we'll conclude here. Thank you.